Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to City Hall. Today we're going to focus on a program that will help the small business community in the city of Houston. Before we get the good news, I do want to welcome members of City Council that are here with me today, Councilmember David Robinson and Councilmember Edward Pollard. That's Ed Pollard that's with us today. You will be hearing from several speakers, Tony Beck with Comcast, Cindy Garza Roberts with Comcast, and Ashley Gomez, who is a recipient of this particular initiative. I also want to welcome representatives of Chambers of Commerce in the City of Houston. We have with us Paul Gore, Director of Community Development for the Asian Chamber of Commerce. Where's Paul? Paul, if you don't mind, why don't you just come over here? Carol Guest. Come on, Carol. President of the Greater Houston Black Chamber of Commerce. Then Adriana Gonzalez, President and CEO of the Cámara de Empresarios Latinos de Houston. Did I come close? All right. And then we have with us Francis Castaneda Dias, President of the East End Chamber. Hey, Francis. Tammy Wallace, CEO and founder of the Houston LGBT Chambers. Tammy here? Oh, there's Tammy. How you doing? And then TJ Nash, Director of MBE Services for the Houston Minority Supplier Diversity Council. Come on, this. Yeah, I want you all standing with us today on this initiative. And then, of course, also joining us is Tony Beck, Comcast VP of External Affairs and Comcast Director of Government Relations, Melinda Little. There's Melinda over there, to share the great news with the community this morning. Comcast is a committed partner of the City of Houston that wholeheartedly accepts the responsibility to not only help level the playing field for our school children and underserved, but support small business owners as well. From the early days of the pandemic, when children transitioned out of the classroom to virtual education, Comcast partnered with the City of Houston by installing lift zones, which provide free Wi-Fi connectivity in facilities that help students get online, participate in distance learning, and do their schoolwork. Comcast installed 20 lift zones in multi-service centers and community centers throughout the complete communities, providing opportunities for underserved students and families to access the internet for their needs and not fall behind in school. Today, Comcast brings the power of digital access and their big business acumen and opportunity to support our small, people of color-owned businesses. Many of these businesses have been hit the hardest by the economic impact of the pandemic. Between February and April of 2020, the number of active Black-owned businesses declined by 41%. Latinx-owned businesses declined by 32%, and Asian-owned businesses dropped by 25%. These numbers are a grave concern when you compare that just 21% for the general U.S. population decline. If this doesn't demonstrate the need for support, then quite frankly, I don't know what does. It is why the City of Houston Office of Business Opportunity last year created the Small Business Economic Relief Program. In response to the COVID-19 pandemic, the City of Houston took action to assist small businesses economically and financially by allocating $35 million of Federal CARES Act dollars to provide grant dollars to eligible small businesses and chambers of commerce operating within the limits of the City of Houston. The Small Business Economic Relief Program helped 1,072 small businesses sustain their operations with the average grant amount totaling $30,000. That program has since ended. When it comes to Comcast, earlier this year, Comcast took its commitment to empowering small businesses through connectivity a step further with the creation of the Comcast Rise Investment Fund, which awarded $1 million to 100 small people of color-owned businesses in Harris and Fort Bend counties to continue to grow as they navigated the challenges of the pandemic. Just a few months later, there is still a need. Today, Today, I am pleased to help announce that Comcast will award another $1 million to Houston small business owners here. To Houston small business owners by people of color, each with a $10,000 grant. This program has the potential to keep the dream of business ownership alive and well in our city. And as I invite Tony back to the podium, I want to present you and your team with this special proclamation declaring today, September 16, 2021, as Comcast Rise Investment Fund Day in the city of Houston, and encourage our citizens to recognize the important role that Comcast plays in helping small businesses thrive throughout Houston. And Tony, in part, and I'm not going to read the entire thing, but whereas the Comcast Rise program, which stands for representation, investment, strength, and empowerment, was established as part of a larger $100 million diversity, equity, and inclusion initiative to provide marketing tools and technology services to small businesses owned by people of color to help their businesses be sustainable. And whereas the Comcast Rise Investment Fund was established to direct financial assistance to small businesses that have been operating for 3 or more years with 1 to 25 employees and located in Houston, Texas, Harris, and Fort Bend counties to continue to grow as they navigate the challenges of the pandemic. And whereas on September 16, 2021, Comcast will announce a second round of cities to receive grants from the Comcast Rise Investment Fund, providing an additional $6 million to hundreds of small businesses owned by people of color, including Black, Indigenous, Hispanic, and Asian American owners, amongst others. And whereas Houston is the first city, let me underscore that, Houston is the first city to receive an additional $1 million to be invested in 100 Houston area small businesses owned by people of color, each receiving $10,000 to keep the dream of business ownership alive. Therefore, I, Sylvester Turner, Mayor of the City of Houston, hereby proudly proclaim this day, September 16, 2021, as Comcast Rise Investment Fund Day in the City of Houston. Thank you so very much. You know, for one, right. Y'all come a little bit closer just for 1 second.
Take that one. You gotta get it right.
I don't want to be trolled. Yes.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't want everybody to be hitting us.
That's right.
All right.
Now we're set. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So I'll hold this for you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Turner. It's really fantastic to be here with everybody this morning. And Mayor, we are so grateful to you for your leadership, for your passion, your very real passion around the issue of digital equity and digital literacy. At Comcast, we share that passion and have long understood our unique position to address digital inequities, whether it's in the schoolroom, in the homes, or whether it's with small businesses such as what we're talking about here this morning. And in fact, as a company, we have spent more than a decade working to address digital inequities. And as proud as we are of all of the work that we have done in that space, there is so much more that we need to do. We also fully appreciate that no single organization, no single company can solve historic and systemic inequities overnight. But we are truly committed as a company to taking tangible actions that can drive long-term impact and change. The Comcast Rise program and the investment fund are an example of that tangible action, offering the opportunity for small businesses owned by people of color to sustain their businesses, create jobs, and therefore play a vital role in supporting our communities. I think we would all agree that small businesses really are the lifeblood of our communities. They establish important connections within neighborhoods, often creating really strong foundations that allow our city to thrive both economically and socially. And since we established the Comcast Rise program and the investment fund, we have helped more than 200 small businesses in the Houston area with either marketing assistance, technology makeovers, or monetary grants such as what we're talking about this morning. And this initial additional round of $1 million of Comcast Rise grants will provide even more small businesses owned by people of color with the resources and the tools they need to scale their businesses and really flourish in the future. And we're already seeing terrific results. You know, when we announced our first round of investment grants under the Comcast Rise program, I don't know that we fully understood the need in the community with small businesses owned by people of color, nor did we truly appreciate what difference a $10,000 grant can make to businesses who were really struggling through the pandemic and even now coming out of the pandemic. But rather than me stand here and try and explain and share some stories around what these grants have meant, I want to turn this over to one of our round one investment fund grant recipients to share their story directly. So with that, I'd like to turn the microphone over now to Ashley Gomez, who's here standing with us with 132 Design. So Ashley.
Good morning. Thank you, Tony. I am Ashley Gomez with 132 Design. My partners Paul Barone and Eric DeLeon are with me today. We're a local creative agency that provides design and marketing solutions for businesses like us. We're located on the east end of Houston, and we have our heart in everything that we do. We're truly in the business of helping other businesses. When we applied for the grant, in February, we had no idea the impact that it would have on our business. So we took a leap of faith and we tried something new. And Comcast has showed us that they are truly invested in paying it forward. They have been almost like a family to us, and they really are concerned about us and growing us. And so we're super appreciative. If you are a minority-owned business, and you're here in Houston, we encourage you to run for this opportunity. It's real, it exists, and it is for you. And so we encourage you to join us on our mission to grow representation for our city. Thank you.
Muy buenos días. Soy Cindy Garza Roberts, directora de Relaciones Públicas para Comcast. Les quiero decir un poco de este programa en español para los comerciantes latinos aquí en la ciudad de Houston y el condado de Harris y Fort Bend. Comcast Rise es un programa que comenzó en 2020 para pequeñas empresas de personas de color. Hoy, nosotros aquí en Comcast presentamos el Fondo de Inversión Rise de Comcast, que ofrece subvenciones para estos pequeños empresarios en las ciudades más afectadas por la pandemia. Y es que Houston fue una de esas ciudades que fue más impactado de la pandemia. Comcast va a donar a 100 negocios pequeños $10,000 a cada uno, para un total de $1 millón en los condados de Houston, Harris y Fort Bend. Empresas pueden someter aplicaciones comenzando el primer día de octubre hasta el 14 de octubre. Y en noviembre vamos a anunciar los negocios que calificaron. Así es que queremos avisarles a todos los empresarios pequeños que vayan a comcastrise.com para los detalles de este programa. Muchísimas gracias y les quiero suplicar que todos pequeños negocios, empresarios de color, vayan y aplican para este programa, para estos $2 que son gratis de parte de Comcast. Muchísimas gracias.
And that was Cindy Garza. All right, thank you, Cindy, and thank all of you. Look, I want to thank everyone for participating. To all of the representatives from the different chambers, thank all of you. Certainly to Comcast Rise Initiative. Let me thank you all again. This was not the first. This was the second, and very much appreciate the support that's given to these businesses. You've heard the numbers. When there's been a droppage in businesses from 41%, 30%, 25%, that's real. So anything that can be done to not only keep these businesses going, but to assist in expanding their capacity, their ability to serve even more, it not only benefits those individual businesses, but they benefit the city of Houston as a whole. So to Comcast, thank you all so very, very much. Now, if you'll just stay where you are, and then if you all will come and take this podium away.